The pilot holds the Seahawk steady, fighting the crosswinds. The gunner takes a deep breath. The drone is half a mile away, the maximum effective range of the GA-U-21. There is no time to close the gap. This is the only shot. Over the Red Sea, a new kind of combat is unfolding. It is a war of attrition, fought not with grand armies, but with inexpensive drones and multi-billion-dollar warships. Here, a single shot can change the course of an engagement, and a single decision can mean the difference between survival and disaster. In the early morning hours, 28 miles off the coast of Yemen, the crew of an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter was about to make history. This is the story of how they became the first in the Navy to shoot down an aerial threat with machine gun fire. The sun was reflecting off the water, creating a blinding glare that made visibility poor. On a routine patrol, the Seahawk helicopter call sign, Romeo scanned the sector. The radar was silent. For the crew, it was just another day in a dangerous part of the world where Houthi forces had repeatedly attacked both civilian and military vessels. They had no idea they were only moments away from a historic confrontation. 15 minutes into the patrol, an alert tone broke the monotony. The AN/PS-153 radar had picked up a new contact. The tactical operator tensed. New contact, bearing 45. He reported his fingers moving swiftly across the control panel. The radar profile was unusual. It was too small for a helicopter, its speed too low for a fighter jet. It was suspicious. Romeo immediately turned toward the contact. The operator switched on the FLIR system, an AAS-44 infrared optics turret mounted on the helicopter's nose. This system can detect heat signatures from up to 16 miles away, even through fog and smoke. But the morning sun had already warmed the air, making it nearly impossible to distinguish a specific target. It was like trying to find a single spark in a wildfire. The crew stared at their screens, the silence in their headsets broken only by the rhythmic beat of the rotor blades. The pilot adjusted altitude, giving the sensors a better angle. A faint thermal trace appeared, a ghostly glow just above the horizon. The urgent call went out over the radio. Vampire, vampire, vampire. It was U.S. Navy code for an inbound aerial threat. Romeo moved into a defensive position, placing itself between the unknown object and the USS, Gravely, a guided missile destroyer operating nearby. The heat signature was unstable, flickering in and out as the FLIR system struggled to maintain a lock. They still lacked the positive identification required for weapons clearance. But one thing was certain, this was not a bird or a civilian aircraft. This was a threat, and it was heading straight for ship. Time was running out. The contact was closing fast at 270 miles per hour. The operator switched the radar to air-to-air mode. The sea clutter on the screen vanished, and the contact lit up clear and distinct. As if it knew it was being watched, the object began making evasive micro-movements, the classic behavior of an autonomous strike drone. Romeo dropped lower, seeking a better visual angle. A soft ping from the IFF system, the Identify Friend or Foe transponder, was met with silence. No response. The ship was now just 3 miles away. Then finally, visual confirmation. A distinct silhouette appeared in the optics, a slender fuselage, a teardrop-shaped nose cone, and swept back wings. There was no mistaking it. It was a Samad 3A Houthi drone of Iranian origin already used in multiple attacks. Its intent was crystal clear. "Gravely, this is Romeo," the pilot radioed. "Hostile target confirmed. Drone Samad 3 profile. Requesting permission to open fire." Permission granted came the immediate response. The destroyer was now less than 1.5 miles away. For the drone carrying 66 pounds of high explosives, that was just 18 seconds of flight time. An invisible countdown had begun. 18 seconds. 17. Romeo banked hard left in a combat turn, the air vibrating under the roar of its engines. The helicopter stabilized, positioning itself perfectly between the incoming threat and the destroyer. 16. 15. 14. The door gunner pressed his body against the fuselage, his hands gripping the handles of the GA-U-21 machine gun. His knuckles were white, but his hands were steady. Through the optical sight, he now saw the target. Not a radar blip, but a real object closing in with clear hostile intent. 13. 12. 11. The pilot held the Seahawk steady, fighting the crosswinds. The gunner took a deep breath. The drone was 1/2 mile away, the maximum effective range of the GA-U-21. There was no time to close the gap. This is the only shot. 10. 9. The GA-U-21 opened fire. Tracer rounds streaked forward, drawing bright orange lines across the sky. The first burst missed. 8. 7. "Left," the tactical operator shouted, watching the trajectory. The pilot nudged the helicopter forward, closing the distance slightly. 6. 5. 4. The second burst. A spray of 50 caliber rounds tore through the sky at nearly 30 feet per second, chewing up the 1/2 mile gap and slamming into the drone's fuselage and left wing. It was a direct hit. The rounds punched through the drone's body. It jerked violently, destabilized, as smoke poured from the airframe. The left wing sheared off, and the drone began tumbling out of control. 3. 2. The invisible timer stopped. Romeo's crew took no chances. A third burst ripped through what was left of the target, and the Samad 3 broke apart in midair. "Target destroyed," the pilot reported calmly. But even before the words fully left his mouth, new contacts appeared on the radar screen. The helicopter's onboard AN/ALQ-210 electronic warfare suite detected a signal in the S-band, likely a control uplink for another drone. And then the cockpit filled with a shrill warning siren. Incoming missile alert. The threat system logged the launch bearing. The missile was approaching from the shore, likely from a manned portable air defense system. Its speed was Mach 2.2. Time to impact was under 8 seconds. The pilot reacted instantly, throwing the Seahawk into a sharp right turn and dropping altitude fast, forcing the missile to adjust its targeting angle. Inertia slammed the crew into their seats. The co-pilot hit a button on the panel, and the ALQ-147 countermeasure system responded. Flares burst from the sides of the helicopter, blinding fireballs burning at over 20 degrees Celsius, far hotter than the helicopter's engine exhaust. A moment later, the Houthi missile veered sharply off course, locking onto a flare. A flash of light, A distant explosion and a shockwave jolted the helicopter. The Seahawk was still flying. The radar picked up a small surface contact near the suspected launch point, likely the boat used as a mobile platform. The data was immediately relayed to the USS Gravely. This engagement was a victory, a testament to the crew's skill and the helicopter's capabilities. But it was also a stark illustration of the new battlefield. The real threat is not a single drone or missile, but the strategy of attrition itself. Inexpensive, easily replaced weapons are pitted against billions of dollars in advanced military hardware. Every engagement, win or lose, comes with a cost. Today, the crew of Romeo won their fight. But in the ongoing conflict in the Red Sea, this was just one moment in a war where the lines are constantly being redrawn.